or purpose. Pledging my life, my fortune, and my sacred honor. So help me God. Congratulations, fellow oath keepers. I just have 3 words for you. Freedom! 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 Freedom!
Are you ready yet? Yeah! You are? All right, good. Okay, how come we're here today? What are we here for? Well, that's part of it. How about the Constitution? Standing up for the Constitution. Let me hear you say that. There's a guy in the back over there who hasn't said a word yet today. Can you help him out? What are we doing? Standing up for the Constitution. Oh my God, what is happening here? Let me hear it again. Standing up for the Constitution. One more time. Okay, Andrew called me while I was standing back here, and he said he can't hear you because Dean Skelos is standing too close. His head's blocking the sound. So you're going to have to be a little bit louder. So you got to step it up a little bit. All right, so let's try it again, one more time. I like that. That sounds good. How about we the people? We the people! Introduce yourself. Thank the person on your left for coming. Yeah, it sounds good. Get the phone number. Get the phone number. That's right. All right, don't forget, the reason you're here is to talk about your rights. It's also to lobby, so we have to do that. We have to go in next door, let them know you're out here. I think Senator Greg Ball is going to join me for a minute. Greg, come on up.
How you all doing?
Hallelujah. Fire him up, baby. Fire him up.
Get ready. Fire him up. Give him hell. Not give him hell, we just tell him the truth.
Yeah, the truth.
I just want to say it's a pleasure, an absolute pleasure, to be with 2,000 of the newest criminals in the state of New York. And sure as shit, I have never felt safer in this Capitol than with each and every one of you right here, right now. No, I tell you, maybe good, maybe bad, but we're not in Texas. You're in the lion's den. This is the state of New York. There are people that sit in those chambers, especially that assembly chamber. Joe, how are you? Good to see you. Joe Spector from Journal News. Good. There are people in that assembly chamber and that Senate chamber. They don't know the front end of a white-tailed deer from the back end of a mule. No, they're big on releasing mountain lions and grizzly bears in places all over this country, but not Central Park. And when they get north of 125th Street, they don't know where the hell they are. This piece of legislation that was rammed down our throats had one goal. That man there. Governor Cuomo's intent on being President of the United States. You may not want to admit it now. You guys, you guys may not want to admit it now, but if I get a poll of the sportsmen throughout this state just 3 months ago, Governor Cuomo had high approval ratings.
That's right.
Because for 2 years, this governor focused on jobs and taxes. For 2 years, this governor tried to run as the reincarnate of Ronald Reagan, and now he wants to be the remake of Joe Biden. We've got to make sure that that wall that he has hit, that has watched his approval ratings drop 15 points, and there's not a man in this state that watches his approval ratings more than Governor Cuomo. We've got to make sure that all of you stand strong and that you represent not one or two, but that each of you represents 1,000. And that he hits that wall in your grassroots strength. You have to understand that those members that don't make it north of 125th Street, it is easier for them to focus on each and one of you. All of you are good, law-abiding Americans. You pay your taxes, you go to church, you do the right thing. They would rather focus on turning law-abiding people like you into criminals than going after the real problem. Because what's the real problem? We have kids getting killed in the inner city every day. And those kids are being killed with illegal guns by criminals. But those legislators view those criminals as constituents and victims, and they view you as criminals, and that's why this Capitol is bass backwards on this issue and many others. On the 28th, you've got to make sure that you come back to this Capitol with dozens of men and women just like you. And you go into those legislators' office, and you make sure that they know that they're going to be held accountable within 2 years, because election time comes very, very quickly. This is the greatest nation that this world has ever known.
That's right.
And it is great not because of the politicians. It is great not because of those criminals that are killing our kids. It is great because of veterans and patriots like each and every one of you. You take this fight. You take this fight right to the governor. You continue to take this fight to the legislator, and we will continue to fight till hell freezes over, and then we will fight on the ice.
That's right.
Rock and roll.
Okay, somewhere out here in the crowd, we have our moms for the Second Amendment. Where are they? Where are our moms for that? Over here, good for that. We have our moms. You're going to hear a lot about on the press today. You'll hear them talk about the moms, a million moms that came up, and they're all about this and that. We have our own moms right here. Our moms that stand for the Second Amendment. And you know what? We care about children too. I'm sick and tired of hearing them say, because you're a woman and you have a gun, you hate kids. You know what? They're nuts. That's not the case.
They're nuts.
We love our kids more because we're willing to protect our kids.
That's right.
All right, Mom. You got it. All right, now this guy that's coming up really needs no introduction, but I'm going to give him one anyway. My good friend, Carl Paladino.
This is awesome.
Hey, Governor.
And now you're all oath keepers. I'm an oath keeper now.
Yes, sir.
I think everyone should turn to the guy standing around him and shake his hand and thank him for coming here today. This is what government is about.
That's right.
It's about the people.
Yes, amen.
If Andrew's up in one of those offices and watching us right now, I want you all to turn around and tell him, Andrew, how many rounds does it take to shoot a deer?
This many.
It's not about shooting deer.
Shooting traitors!
It's about a right that we have that we're not going to give up.
That's right! Woo! They will not comply.
We're standing here in the belly of the beast.
And it stinks.
And they're hearing us. They're hearing us here, they're hearing us in Buffalo and in Binghamton and in Rochester. They're hearing us. For the first time in years and years, the people are speaking out.
Carl!
They've exposed their underbelly.
Carl, we will not comply.
The people are paying attention on how they do things in this town and how reckless they are with our rights.
We're sick of the fascists. We will not comply.
I've got a piece of, I got a packet for Dean Skellos. Who has to bring it to him? Bring him to the woodshed.
Yeah.
We have a package for Tom Levis. Who has to bring it to him? Yes. We've got packages for Senator Patricia Ritchie, Senator Kathy Young. We've got packages for a whole bunch of Republican senators that forgot their values. They forgot where they came from. They forgot who put them in office. And now they want us to give us these lame excuses.
Yeah, there is no excuse.
That promoting the political career of Andrew Cuomo was more important than protecting our rights. Yes, this is the belly of the beast. They've made a mistake. It's not about Cuomo going to Washington. It's not about Connecticut.
No, it's not.
It's not about the crime on the streets. It's about the Second Amendment to the Constitution of the United States of America.
That's right.
If they can infringe on that amendment, they can infringe on more. And we're not going to let them.
No.
We're going to stand our ground now. If they really wanted to get at crime, they'd do something about urban education. You haven't seen them do anything about that because they don't want to face down the teachers' unions. They really don't want to solve problems. They want to distract us with this nonsense. Well, we want to tell Dean Skellos today, go home. Get another vocation. Go get a job in the car wash. Get the hell out of here. No more. 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 Turn around and tell it to Andrew. No more. No more. No more. No more. No more. No more. Cuomo's gotta go. Cuomo's gotta go. Cuomo's gotta go. Turn around and tell him. Cuomo's gotta go. Cuomo's gotta go. Cuomo's gotta go. Cuomo's gotta go.
Cuomo's gotta go.
We're coming back here on February 28th. We're going to bring up more of our friends, our relatives, and more of our citizens of the state of New York to tell this lousy government that we want change and we want them to stop the nonsense. One more time. No more. 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 Can you hear us now? Can they hear us now? God bless all of you, and God bless the United States of America.
Alright, I'm back for a minute or two, I think. You know what today is? Does anybody know what today is? Well, that too, but do you know what it is? It's what?
Mardi Gras.
Yeah, it's Abraham Lincoln's birthday. And we don't really celebrate that, but it really is. So we should talk about that. Abraham Lincoln said, "No man is good enough to govern another man without the other's consent." And you know what the problem is? For some reason, somebody gave these jokers the right to do what they did. And that somebody is a person that did not vote in the last election. So it's important today that if you are not registered to vote, you get your butt over to the table that's over here on my right and register to vote. And also take some forms home with you. That's the only way we're going to make a change. You must register to vote. And you must get your friends registered to vote. That is your civic duty to do that.
I'm just a regular guy just like you guys, except I'm wearing a tie. How many of you guys know what the fourth branch of government is? The people. You know what? A couple years ago, some conservative wrote an article that the fourth branch of government was the press. That is not true. The fourth branch of government is the independent jury. Let me tell you, Governor Cuomo and his lackeys have unleashed a wicked and unjust law upon the people of New York State. They have continued tirelessly in their effort to take away your right to defend yourself and your family. They're systematically stripping women of their ability to fight rapists and other attackers. And they've turned peaceful, law-abiding citizens into criminals with the stroke of a pen. I'm sorry I gotta read from this, but this speech is just too important to do right off at the top of my head. From that building right over there, where they're all gathered at this exact moment, no doubt plotting their next nefarious act, they've declared a war on our Constitution. But an unjust law is no law at all. This statement from Thomas Jefferson is entirely true. So what does it mean when the people give up and submit to an unjust law? It means slavery, subjugation. Know this, however. There are ways to resist tyranny that do not require the press box, do not require the ballot box, nor the ammo box. What I'm referring to is nullification from the jury box. This is a concept that needs to once again be spread far and wide. Here in New York, the Civil Rights Movement, the anti-prohibition movement, and even the Northern Abolitionist movement have a proud history of nullification. In 1850, the U.S. government declared that anyone could be arrested for providing assistance to slaves freeing their captivity. Only 1 year later, in 1851, a jury in our home state, in my hometown of Syracuse, bravely and courageously nullified the Fugitive Slave Act. Slightly more recently, when you couldn't even refresh yourself with a beer in this country because of prohibition, the citizens of New York City openly defied that law and bars were kept open. Why? Because you couldn't find a jury to convict. I imagine it went something like this. A jury took one look at the case and said, that's not a law, forget about it.
I'll have a beer.
It was these examples and similar brave acts by fellow New Yorkers of years past that raised public awareness and gave politicians the political will to overturn and repeal these laws. Politicians and law enforcement can also nullify unjust laws. Local leaders can pass laws whereby their town or county refuses to enforce any law that would violate the constitutional rights of their constituents. We need to immediately encourage them to do so. We should get them to nullify the SAFE Act, like the legislature of Oswego County, New York is doing right now. Urge them also to nullify Obamacare. Urge them to nullify our violations of privacy under the Patriot Act. Indefinite detention under NDAA. And outright reject the next thing from Governor Cuomo, his new plan to force mandatory Gardasil injections on our daughters. I'm proud to announce that I'm running for city council in the city of Syracuse this year. You can find out more at davidandrewgay.com. I promise that if I'm elected, I will absolutely introduce nullification legislation in my hometown to raise awareness. We should encourage also our law enforcement not to make any arrests under these laws. I realize that we have many law enforcement officers and oath keepers in town today. I do know that they've been lobbying to get an exception for their law enforcement related weapons. What I hope is that they will stay with the people even if such an exception is granted. Stay with the people. We the people. I urge you, I implore you, stay with the people. We politely request, yet we firmly demand that you fulfill your oath to the Constitution. Thomas Jefferson was very wise. The rightful remedy to tyranny is nullification. You cannot enforce an unjust law if a DA refuses to press charges, a policeman refuses to make an arrest, a judge refuses to hand down a sentence, and you can't even get a jury to convict. The immediate solution is nullification. You have the power in your hands to peacefully resist and defeat all of these unconstitutional laws. It's time to stand up today and be the change you wish to see in the world. Nullification is the key. Thank you.
Today, we have a real special guest. Of course, we do every day when we're here, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Jen Morgan's here. Come on up, Jen.
Hello, New York State, all the way from Texas. I'm glad to be here. And I'm not here representing Tony Romo, just for the record, okay?
All right.
I'm here to help you fight for your gun rights. I've got a lot to say about it. I'm the last one to speak today. Until then, I'm going to be milling around the crowd and visiting with you all. I want to hear what you have to say, and I'm going to help you fight today. After the speeches, I'm going to go in with the folks, and we're going to do some lobbying and some arm twisting and whatever it takes to get you the rights that should not have been stolen from you to begin with.
Thank you. You make a big difference. Mike Fitzpatrick wants to talk to you for a minute.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Mike Fitzpatrick from the 8th District in Suffolk County on Long Island. I just want to say thank you very much for taking the time out of your very busy lives to come up here and send a message to the governor and the members of the legislature about the mistake they made a few weeks ago. We support your efforts. We need to challenge this law in court. If we can overturn it, we should. It's not likely in this place, unfortunately. But whether we take it to court, we do what has to be done. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you.
Let me introduce you to Rich Bellamy. He's going to talk to you for a few minutes. Get you jumping. Hang on a second.
myself. Can you hear me in the back? I am a member of a minority group, but this group's a little different. It's perfectly all right to abuse this group, call them names, take away their rights. You see, I'm a gun owner American. Are there any gun owners here today? I believe in God. Can I even say that on the Capitol steps? I enjoy an occasional cigar. I could stand to lose a few pounds. God, guns, cigars, overweight, hand me a big soda, and I'm public enemy number one. I can see it now at a roadside stop. Sir, step out of the car, please. Do you know that soda contains 20 ounces? And I see you have not permanently modified it to hold only 10. I also see that you haven't loaded with more than 7 ounces.
Tell Michelle!
I am Richard Baum. I live in New York. I practice law in Sullivan County. I'm a longtime member of the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association. I'm a life member of the National Rifle Association. I compete with pistols. I'm a high master in conventional pistol. Member of the 2600 Club. I love America. It is the greatest country on earth. Why? Our founding fathers recognized our God-given rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Our rights come from God, not the government. I'm here to give a voice to the law-abiding gun owner who, like you, had nothing to do with what went on in Connecticut, but mourns the loss. Who, like you, complies with the law, loves his wife, goes about his business earning a living, taking care of his family, coaching soccer, baseball, and whatever else. I wonder when the rights of the law-abiding gun owner are going to be recognized and protected. I've seen many letters from police organizations pointing out the fatal flaws with this law. But I wonder, and I support that, but I wonder, what about us? It's about freedom. Law-abiding gun owners are not the problem. The pistol grip is not the problem. Make no mistake, criminals will get these guns. They will continue to be armed with whatever they can get.
Even a pencil if they
We have been targeted. We, the law-abiding, have been targeted. The founders knew that being armed was essential to protect your life, your liberty, and your property. Personal property, self-defense, and liberty. It defines it.
right on, brother.
Somehow we even lost the sporting purpose argument. There are many sports which use high-capacity magazines. It's not about duck hunting. It's about freedom. Every year, the Army Marksmanship Unit is required by a 1903 law to put on a small arms firing school. The Congress recognized our rights. It's about time New York recognized our rights. Call, tweet, blog, lobby, tell them that they serve us, we do not serve them. God bless you, and God bless
America. We have another special guest here for you today. Janine Borelli's here. Director of Freedom Works. Come on up. Get up here.
Know about me. Yes, I had 2 guns, and yes, I will use them. America, I have spent many months and much time on the road fighting for liberty. Fighting for liberty. I've traveled across the country challenging President Obama and his failed policies. His addiction to spending, his war on fossil fuels, and our tax dollars going to his pet science projects for green energy. I am on the road endlessly. I'm proud to be here today to stand for our cause for liberty. Because here in Albany, we're on the front lines fighting tyranny in our own state. The Empire State is now a state of tyranny. Governor Cuomo, his unchecked power needs to be checked by we the people. Cuomo wanted gun control no matter what, and he's trying to get it, and that's why we're here today on this Tuesday morning. Thou shalt obey Cuomo, no matter what. Because he knows what's best for us and our family, but right, he is wrong, right?
He is a dictator!
His attack on liberty is a classic progressive example of his tactic for ruling.
Exactly.
It's part of the progressive agenda to exploit a tragedy and then hold us in fault for something we had nothing to do with. We're the ones that get punished. Progressives, they want control. They try to get control over our liberty. Tragically, the legislature fell in line with Cuomo on this one. There were no checks. There were no balances. There is a national debate about the use of drones that kill people in international states. Well, you know what, New York?
They're here.
Our state legislature. Our state legislature is filled with drones. They are filled with drones, blindly following Cuomo's assault on our liberty. Look at the process. The bill was written behind closed doors, passed the state legislature, and was signed into law in 24 hours. Lawmakers only had 20 minutes to review the bill. Cuomo circumvented our state's constitution requirement of a 3-day wait period. What was his rush? Why was he in such a rush? Because look at this crowd. He don't want to face this crowd. But I thought the purpose of a representative government for we the people to have a right and a voice when they bring about laws upon us. I thought that was our right, our choice. I thought lawmakers should read the bill before voting for it. Think of healthcare. Cuomo's mockery of representative government must warm the hearts of Vladimir Putin and Hugo Chavez. And look at the results. Nothing good can come from legislation that is rammed down our throats. Nothing. The bill did not exempt police officers. with a limit of 7 bullets. Guards at Indian Point, now they're at risk. What were these legislators thinking? Cuomo's bill is going to cost us money. His proposed state budget includes over $30 million to pay for its implementation. The problem, my friends, with gun violence, it's not we the people, the law-abiding citizens. It's the criminals. He knows extreme gun laws prevented crime in Chicago, which they don't. That's a hit and a half for our politicians to understand extreme gun laws do not work. So much for stopping crimes with guns. Reducing the number of bullets I have in my gun will not reduce gun violence. Reducing the number of bullets I have in my gun is an open invitation for the criminal to come into my home. I have a problem with that. New York, it's our fault that Cuomo is governor. It's our fault we have a legislative drone following Cuomo. We elected them, and we should have known better. We elected Cuomo governor even though he played a role in causing the housing crisis. Cuomo passed unsustainable housing goals. Cuomo's actions are making our state's situation worse. He is following Obama's green energy agenda, spending more of our money that we don't have. He is part of the ruling elite. Now is the time for us to stop Cuomo and his drones from denying us our Second Amendment constitutional rights. Now is the time to just say no. I have a message for Governor Cuomo. If you want my guns, come to Eastchester, New York, and take them. So my friends, are you ready to challenge Cuomo's progressive state? Are you ready to defeat these legislator drones? Are you ready to stand for liberty and fight this unconstitutional law? Are you with me? Are you with me? Thank you. God bless you.
Which is a Jews for the Preservation of Firearms Ownership, the founder of Arizona's Citizen Defense League. Come on, Charles!
God bless you, sir.
Thank you for welcoming me here all the way from Arizona. I I didn't own an overcoat, and I haven't for 30, 40 years. I bought one to come here. So we've already made it worth it.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm going to give you some tools. Everyone here's fired you up, okay? I want to give you some tools you can actually use, things you can either give or duplicate to give to your legislators. Because the problem here, for the most part, is that people are thinking with their heart, not with their head. They're based in emotions. Am I correct? Yeah. Okay. So here's how you kick them in the Paladino ads. All right? We are the only Jewish gun rights group in the United States. Right? You don't have to be Jewish to belong, but it doesn't hurt. Anyway. I'm waiting to use that. I'm going to tell you one of the things you can do. We've got a new sticker that came out. I'm not here to sell anything, okay? One of the things you can do, we got this new one. Only the people in the front will be able to see this. But it says, gun control made the Holocaust possible. It's got the Nazi cross in it. And no more Nazi gun control laws. On JPFO's website, get a bunch of them, and just in your packets of literature, give them to these people. Because as you know, New York has a sizable Jewish population. And the legislators are very sensitive to that issue. Use it! Pick them in the Paladino ads with a sticker like that. We also have another one that says, gun control is not kosher. And it's not, because it doesn't agree with spiritual law. It doesn't agree with scripture at all. The idea of victim disarmament is immoral.
That's right.
I have some other tools for you, and I think Cleavon Little once said, hang on while I whip this out. We have a movie that we made called Innocence Betrayed. This movie shows the history of gun control in the 20th century. What I'd like you to do is get a few of them, one for each legislator, and give this to them in their hands. All right? Another issue is, over the years, this country has not always treated black people very well. Well, we have a movie called No Guns for Negroes. After you scrape them off the ceiling from reading the title of the movie, it was made with people from the Congress of Racial Equality, Roy Innes's group and Niger Innes's group. It's a very penetrating movie about how gun control was used against black people. Also on this disc is one called No Guns for Jews. Have you got Jewish legislators here? This needs to be in their hand. And once again, they'll start screaming when they see the title. When that happens, what does it mean? That's right, you got their attention. That's exactly where you want to be. You can use these materials. Now, I brought about 30 of these with me. We get 20 bucks a piece for them. I'm giving them away. So if you get with me afterwards, I will put these materials in your hands. Now, as far as our stickers, I want to encourage you, because I don't have a whole bunch to give out, I want to encourage you to violate our copyright and color Xerox them and give them to the legislators, okay? I want to encourage you to do the same with these DVDs. I want you to violate our copyright, and I want you to copy them, and I want you to kick your legislators in the Paladino ads with these materials, okay? Now, you can get all this stuff from jpfo.org. We are an extremely aggressive self-defense civil rights organization.
Yeah. Well, you know, it was Saturday, it was a weekend. Might have been a mistake. Yeah. I think we go over here more.
No summertime soldiers here. No farewell patriots here.
Are we still on it at Channel 16 at OSM? I mean now. I mean
that we're not going to back off on our constitutional rights.
I had a meeting. That's why I was
We're not going to let him get away with land approach, the most corrosive, draconian, liberty-snuffing, job-killing law I've ever seen.
Yeah, I want to get
This law only punishes us, the law-abiding citizens. Law-abiding, as in, we've done nothing wrong. The state Senate used to be our firewall against this kind of ultra-liberal gun control legislation. Not so anymore. They received the bill at 11 o'clock, they voted for it, and out the door by 11:20. There'll be no new chapter in Profiles in Courage about the actions of the New York State Senate on that night. But I'll tell you something. I don't expect to see one gutless, yes vote Republican senator back here after the next election. And that includes